Bang, bang, lunch money time. While Wall Street's trying to get rich, the rest of us trying to get our lunch money right. We back. 2 days off. Guess why? We went and got married. That's where we were. Some of you predicted it. Some of you didn't. But we went and we got married. We took 2 days off. Don't kill us. Everybody relax. I am here,
by the way,
with the beautiful and intelligent Polina Marinova Pompliano now. How about that? So all you guys leaving comments about Polina, get out of the comments. She's mine. What?
Oh, the reason you guys weren't invited.
Ooh, you're rusty. Come on, speed it up. You're rusty.
Okay, can you stop speaking? The reason you guys weren't invited is because no one was invited. It was just us.
Oh, yeah, it was just us. Our parents didn't even come. It's all right. They'll get over it. All right. Don't forget, speaking of marriage and love, I love BlockFi. Should have had BlockFi sponsor the wedding. That'd been pretty cool.
I'm shocked you didn't mention them during the vows.
Yeah, I could have. BlockFi's got 3 products. They allow you to buy and sell crypto. You can deposit crypto and get a US dollar loan. Or my favorite product is you can go and earn up to 8.6% interest. I'm an investor in the company. I am a very heavy user of the product. If you go and you sign up using the link in the description before July 18th, which is coming up soon, that's like 3 days away. If you open an account and fund it, they will give you 2x interest on your account in August. Go do it. Now.
Should I do it?
My beautiful bride, go ahead and hit us. What's going on with parking lots?
Your beautiful bride.
Come on, let's go. By the way, let's not, hold on, time out. Tio. You still think that you're a bride because you have on a white jumpsuit.
No, it's because I'm an angel.
This ain't wedding season. It's over. You'll never have another one again. What's going on with the parking lots?
Might.
Let's go.
Okay. Mall owners are renting out parking lots during the COVID pandemic because real estate owners are scrambling for solutions.
But what are they renting them out for? Drive-in theaters?
Drive-ins.
That's it? That's something?
Basically.
Why if you scroll right here, it is drive-in theaters, movies, virtual concerts, etc. Okay, that makes sense.
But
I like it.
I appreciate the creativity in times of constraint.
Is that really creativity?
Yeah.
They're getting smoked. I don't think this is creativity. Creativity would say, yo, Amazon, we got a warehouse for you. Creativity would be like, hey, we're going to take that department store. We're going to turn it into apartments. Creativity would be, I'm going to turn my mall into a mini city. I'm going to recruit people here. Creativity is not, would you like to pay to park in my parking lot? That's not creativity. But they're trying to at least make some money.
The chief marketing officer of Brookfield's retail arm said, if we can't rent the mall, we're going to rent other space. We actually have tons of ideas for our parking lot. So maybe they do have other ideas. They're just starting with a
little food market or something out there. What do they call it?
Farmers market.
Farmers market. Yeah.
I'm not sure how much money they would make off of that, but yeah.
All right. What's going on with SiriusXM?
SiriusXM is buying Stitcher for $325 million.
Why? I know.
Okay, we need to stop recording these after you've had coffee because you're extremely annoying.
We're married. She can't leave now.
The move sets Sirius to compete even more seriously against Spotify, iHeartMedia, and Apple for dominance in the podcasting space. So do you think everybody saw the Joe Rogan situation?
No, this has nothing to do with that.
Why?
Because they're buying it because of 3 things. One, they have a podcast listing or a publishing platform. 2 is they've got an entire ad network. So they have a great sales arm that's able to drive revenue.
SiriusXM does?
No, Stitcher. Yes, Stitcher has a publishing platform. They've got an ad network, and then they have their own proprietary podcast shows and podcast networks. So they've got content, they've got ads, and they've got the publishing technology infrastructure stack. So you add those 3 things in, it now immediately gives Sirius a foot in the door or a wedge into the podcasting space across the 3 verticals you need for the business.
It's just kind of annoying.
That's an analysis for you. You ain't going to get that analysis anywhere else.
You might get it somewhere else. It's just kind of annoying because like Apple podcasts are so distributed that like I'm like, oh wait, what was that on again? Was it exclusive to Spotify, Apple, Stitcher? Like it takes.
Well, it goes against podcasting. Like the whole ethos of podcasting is that it should be open and free. It's like an RSS feed. Like the whole idea of Spotify going and signing up exclusives, I hate that idea, right? Just from like a pure ethos standpoint, because what ends up happening is you're taking something that's free and you're bringing it to your platform. So the equivalent would be like, this is an equivalent, would be like Google's Chrome browser saying, no, you know what, actually, Polina, your website, we want it exclusive to our platform. Yeah. People can't use the other platforms. Like, imagine if that happened on the web. People be like, wait, what?
People be like, I can't open Safari and go to readtheprofile.com, but I have to go on.
Yeah, I have to go to Chrome. Like, same thing here, right? Is that podcasts are supposed to be able to be published anywhere. It's an open RSS feed. And so in that situation, if you start to make it specific to a certain platform, you're basically taking away a lot of the value proposition of podcasts.
Isn't it kind of similar with news and newsletters and all that?
No, because that stuff's not open.
Like news should be, in my opinion, open.
It should be, but news in the structure of it is not published in an open format, right? You can add it to an RSS feed, but it's not default to an RSS feed, right? Podcasts are default that way, and therefore they're trying to actually reverse it. So we'll see. What's going on with Tesla? Man, Elon is having a 6-month run. He is on fire.
Okay. So lawmakers in Texas just gave Tesla and Elon Musk another incentive to locate its next factory there. Commissioners in Travis County, home to Austin, and the possible next Tesla factory, approved Tuesday property tax breaks worth at least $14.7 million and potentially more over 10 years. Wow. So, okay. I mean,
total of $50 million is what they're using as tax incentives.
So $50 million.
14 million is the latest one, but they previously gave them like 45 or 46 million of tax abatements. So it's now $50 million.
So explain what a tax abatement is.
Well, just in general, the way that this works is a county says, okay, if you were to move here, you would pay based on the size, how many employees, the amount of money, like all of the factors, you would normally pay us $200 million in taxes over the next 10 years. I'm making those numbers up, but $200 million. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a deal with you. You don't have to pay us $200 million in taxes now, based on all of these different tax grants, if you will. They're saying, well, now you only pay us $150 million. So basically you're going to make an additional $50 million by coming to our city versus he's looking at, I think, like Las Vegas or Utah or something, or Oklahoma. I forget where it is. But when you compare it, now Elon sits down and he says, okay, so one city, I'm going to pay $150 million in taxes. In this other city, I'm going to pay X dollars in taxes. So let's say it's $200 million. So I'm literally going to save 25% of my tax bill by moving to and putting the plant in Austin, Texas. That's not the only thing he's going to look at. He's also going to look at talent, right? All of that type of stuff as well. But it's a big piece of it.
Do we actually think he's going to move it to Texas?
Yes, I think it'll end up in Austin. Yeah. Because for a couple of different reasons. So one, there's incredible technology talent that's flocking to Austin, Texas, which is a really, really big thing. Two is all these tax benefits that he would get. Three is he already spends a lot of time in Texas because of SpaceX. They actually do a lot of development there. And I think maybe they do like test launches as well. No, they've got a site in Texas. And then the other thing is I actually do think that he's very anti-California. Like I think he's really pissed off at the way that California's handled a lot of this. And there's something about the position socially that Texas has taken. Agree with it, disagree with it, whatever. If you are into the idea that they handled the virus in a different way, and that's the way that you like in terms of personal freedom, individual liberties, all that kind of stuff, then naturally you're going to be drawn to go there because you think they'll handle other situations in the future similarly. And so
I wouldn't drag the virus into this, but under the terms of
that's what drove, just so everyone remembers, that's what kicked all this off. Was the virus.
Under the terms of the agreement with Travis County, though, Tesla must invest $1.1 billion in the new factory within the first 5 years.
Yeah, so like that's the whole key, right?
They're saying like we need to know your long term.
Well, long term, I mean, you're going to build a factory, so you're going to be there for a long time, right? Because you're literally building a massive facility. But why are they
specifying just how much he needs to invest in the factory?
Well, it is probably broken down, not in this article, but in terms of like the agreement, where they'll say, hey, the facility's got to be X in size. You've got to employ Y number of people. There's got to be, all this kind of stuff. Because what they're doing is they're doing a calculation, right? Okay, if you have a 100-acre facility, here's how much taxes we're going to get, right? If you hire this many people at the average salary of this, here's there's all this analysis that goes into it. At the end of the day, it's a culmination of all of the inputs is what'll drive the decision. but I do think he'll end up in Austin. So we'll see.
Okay.
All right, what's going on with Adam Newman? Is Adam Newman still hanging?
Adam Newman's hanging. He's making investments. Adam Neumann, you might remember, the ex-WeWork CEO who was ousted by SoftBank and that whole drama. Well, since he went back and sued SoftBank, this is his first investment that he's made. He has taken a 33% equity stake in GoTo Global, a shared mobility company that operates in Israel and Malta and aims to expand into Europe later this year. So that's kind of interesting. So they do electric scooters and mopeds and bicycles and all that stuff. Could he change direction, or do you think this is just...
Well, he's definitely going to go try to do something else. Look, he's got a family office. He's got like almost $1 billion after the whole WeWork debacle.
Well, but he sued. We are unclear.
No. Before that $1 billion, he's already got at least hundreds of millions of dollars for sure, and he's supposed to get another $1 billion as kind of his exit package. What I find interesting is one, he invested $10 million in a $19 million round. He bought 33% ownership in this business, and it just feels like
it's a lot of percent.
Well, it just feels like he's kind of like taking a big shot, like, oh, this other thing, like everyone knows me for. I'm gonna go and like really kind of throw money at this other new interest of mine, investing. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I don't even know this company. It's not in the United States. But it's just very, very interesting to see kind of to come out of the gate with your first investment, stroking $10 million checks and buying, double-digit percentages of companies.
Goes alongside the ethos of WeWork, right? So apparently the source in this article said that Neumann made the investment because he believes flexibility will be a key component in people's lives post-COVID.
Maybe. I don't know what... These stupid scooters have to do with flexibility, but sure.
Well, flexible, get here, go there. You don't want to be inside of Ubers.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I'll take it. Well, can you do me a favor? Can you look up 166 2nd Street or 2nd Avenue, maybe, in New York? That's the name of his family office is 166 2nd Financial something. And my guess, I don't know for sure, my guess is that is a massive WeWork building.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Look at that. Look how funny that is.
Oh, wait, so how is it possible his family office is in a WeWork?
No, that's the name of it. So one of the rules, here's a free.
I thought you said it was located at one.
No. Here's a free jewel for you guys. In the finance world, the reason why so many people name their firms after physical places, so addresses, places where they grew up, forests and woods and creeks and rivers and lakes and all this kind of stuff, is because there's no protection on if you already use the name, right? So like I grew up on, let's say, Jones Street.
Okay.
And if you call it Jones Street Capital, and then I come in and I name mine Jones Street Investment, you can't prevent me from using the name Jones Street because it's a physical location, right?
That's interesting.
So that's why people constantly do that. And so you'll see them using lakes, rivers, forests, addresses, all that kind of stuff. That's why that is so popular.
But don't you want to be kind of unique and not be Jones?
Yeah, but there's thousands of investment firms in the world.
Yeah.
So like, there's only so many like patientcapital.com.
If we had a family office, I know what the name would be for that.
What?
Polina is the host of lunchmoney.com.
What's going on with Deutsche Bank? You definitely will not be naming anything around here. By the way, this wouldn't even be called Lunch Money if it wasn't for me. If it was up to you, you'd be calling it something like Polina's Show. What's up with Deutsche Bank?
So Deutsche Bank got slammed with a $150 million fine for failing to flag Jeffrey Epstein's shady transactions.
I'm just going to say it. This is my personal opinion. Deutsche Bank is a criminal organization.
All right.
It is. How many times do you have to get charged with crimes, fined?
It was different departments.
Participating in all this shady stuff because if you weren't a bank and I did this or a listener did this, you'd be considered a criminal. So if the media really covered this stuff the way it should be covered, literally what you should write is criminal organization Deutsche Bank instead of Deutsche Bank, a financial organization.
I mean, somebody should do like a deep dive investigation into this, but basically authorities say that Deutsche Bank's significant compliance failures allowed Epstein to conduct hundreds of transactions totaling millions of dollars that should have prompted additional scrutiny. And do you think that if it wasn't Epstein, they would be more scrutinous of someone else doing these types of transactions?
Well, there's plenty of examples of them going after people where the banks have done bad things. But again, when I'm half joking, but I'm actually more serious than not, in that the banks have a hard job, right? Everyone's trying to put money through the banks. It's hard to keep track of all that kind of stuff. But that is why they are regulated the way they are. And so we have to change the conversation around. People forget, literally, there are banks that are very well known in the United States that have been charged with federal crimes, local crimes. Individuals who run those banks have been charged with crimes.
But they can't just go out of business because they're like a bank, right?
Well, one, the government could definitely shut you down if you did something absolutely atrocious.
Well,
but the
shut it all down.
But the thing is, if you watch like the local news, right, and somebody was charged with a crime, what they would say is, let's say you're charged with murder. They would say suspected murder or murder suspect, Polina Marinova.
Hey,
right?
Don't be using my name.
But Polina Pompliano.
Don't be using my name.
But when a bank executive is charged with a crime, nobody writes articles saying potential fraudster, bank CEO, blah, 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 whatever.
Well, they sometimes do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I'll give you an example. Search Jamie Dimon's name on the internet. Jamie Dimon's been charged with crimes. Why does every article start with JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon?
Why doesn't he's still the CEO.
But why doesn't it start with, of course though, but why doesn't it start with the criminal charges? Because again, white collar crime is treated differently in society than blue collar crime. So in this situation, Deutsche Bank is getting charged.
Well,
they're getting fined.
To be fair, I think killing a human being is a little different than doing some shady white collar stuff, which you could argue has killed people via.
They've killed more people
via like drugs and legal drugs. And
yeah, but
opioids.
Like a great example is if on Netflix there's a show called Dirty Money, and if you go and you watch, I forget which bank it is, so I'm not going to speculate on it. But one of them worked with the cartels. And the cartels were funneling money through the bank. And basically the bank just turned a blind eye, right? They didn't want to know where the money was coming from. But are you telling me that financing a cartel is worse than a guy who goes out on the street and shoots somebody one time? Who's the bigger criminal?
Does the cartel kill people?
Of course. That's their whole business, basically. But also the other thing is Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, is that how you say her name?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Right? Ghislaine Maxwell. These people are not good people, obviously. And what's going to end up happening here is we're going to have to unpack who helped them, right? Who helped them?
Because obviously they didn't do this just as individuals. There were institutions and people who helped them do this behavior.
Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested in New Hampshire on in a house on 150 acres of land that she recently bought, I think last year. And when she bought it, she bought in all cash. It's like a $2 million home, right? So how does she have access to so much cash and doing a real estate transaction?
So hold on, let's back up a minute. So Ghislaine Maxwell, it was Jeffrey Epstein's.
That was a good backup.
Epstein's, they call her alleged perverted cohort. Basically, she helped him recruit girls, and she was part of that whole network, and it wasn't good. So now she got arrested. She got pulled out of her mansion. And also I read an article that said when authorities knocked on the door of the New Hampshire mansion, she ran to another room. Like that would have helped. Anyway, so she is asking.
Can't see me.
She is asking to be allowed to stay in a luxury New York City hotel instead of a federal lockup until her trial.
Well, it was denied already.
It was denied by the judge.
She asked for $5 million bond. They denied it. Because they say she's such a big flight risk.
Of course she's a flight risk.
Yeah, they're just like, look, she's too well connected. She's got multiple citizenships around the world. She's got too much cash. Like she'll leave. And what I found that was absolutely nuts is Jeffrey Epstein had asked for $100 million bond. He was denied. She asked for $5 million. She's denied. And then she said, oh, by the way, fine, I'll stay at like a luxury hotel in New York. Denied. But what is I think a real situation is that people are scared of being in charge of protecting her, right? So if you're sitting there and you're a part of the prison system, you're like, look, I got this woman here who, by the way, her cohort was killed, right? Or committed suicide, allegedly. And so now I'm in charge of her. How do I protect her? And so I've read articles where they're literally moving her from cell to cell multiple times a day to try to prevent somebody being able to plan how to actually get to her.
God.
They not only have to protect her from external things, right? So a dirty prison guard, somebody visiting the facility, somebody breaking into the facility, all that kind of stuff. But then they also have to protect her from the other prison population, because this would put somebody would become infamous in the prison culture if they were the one who took her out. And so you just get in this weird situation where you're like, well, do we even want to be in charge of actually having her at our prison? Because it causes all this other chaos.
Yeah, I can't imagine. By the way, I took criminology in college, and the one thing I remember is that other prisoners do not like sexual predators, rapists, people like that. And she is connected to the biggest like pedophile ever. So here's the thing.
She's connected, but I don't understand why people don't call her a pedophile.
Well, I don't
allegedly.
Yeah, we don't know. Anyway, so but there is, some evidence to suggest she was very, very closely involved with the whole thing. But no, don't be looking at my jokes. What are you doing? You crazy? Okay. So anyway, Ghislaine, can I just ask how you can just ask a judge to put you up in a nice luxury city hotel? Can I ask for that?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Like right now, can I be like, can you put me up?
No, but she probably offered to pay for it herself.
Oh, I see.
She said, look, on my dime, if you allow me to, I'll go stay in this hotel. You can put security there, blah, blah, whatever. All right, what's your joke? Let's go. We're running out of time.
My joke is, it doesn't matter how often a married man changes his job. He still ends up with the same boss. It's funny. It's so funny. Oh.
That's not a joke, because it's true. All right, guys, we're super excited. We got married. We're back. She's got the rust off. I'm always on top of my game. That's it for Lunch Money today. Well, Wall Street's trying to get rich. The rest of us is trying to get our lunch money right. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm wearing white and you're wearing black.
Yeah, you're out of uniform.
No.
See ya.
Bang, bang. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Lunch Money as much as we did.
And don't forget, Lunch Money is now sponsored by BlockFi, so go check them out. There's a link in the description that you can click on. I'm an investor, a user, and a huge fan. What?
You're a bigger fan of BlockFi than you are of me?
BlockFi is my second favorite thing in the world behind Polina. They've got 3 products. They can give you a US dollar loan. You can earn up to 8.6% interest on an interest-bearing account, or you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies on their crypto exchange. I personally use the interest-bearing account. There's not very many places where you'll find up to 8.6% interest on a deposit in an interest-bearing account. Go do your own research. There's risk associated, but 8.6% is pretty compelling. So click on the link in the description. Say thanks to the folks at BlockFi. Subscribe to our channel. Like the video. Annoy Polina in the comments. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
And be kind to your friends.